What's up, Kerfuffle crew? It's your boy, Jack, and today we're here for a different type of video. Yes, sorry about the background noise. I am printing a mini right now. It'll probably be finished when I'm done editing this video, but if not, I don't know. But if so, here's a picture of it. Isn't that so pretty? God, I love minis. Anyway, it's not a mini, it's a Magnum. Anyway, today's episode is going to be about how to derail a session. So, a lot of people do have this issue where they're like, Jack, this is the person, Jack, my DM just takes everything seriously, and I don't know how to play D&D seriously. Well, don't you worry, Jimmy, because I have the solution. I have the answer to your problem, and it's a really easy solution. Just derail the session in the direction you want it to go. So there may be a railroad, and the railroad is leading you to collect a bunch of, I don't know, let's say chicken. 5 different types of chickens. Okay? Now these chickens don't really matter. What matters is that those chickens are what the DM's MacGuffin is. Now, every DM's going to have a MacGuffin because they have to get the party moving in a certain direction. And this certain direction doesn't necessarily have to be in the direction they want it to be. It can be in the direction you want it to be. Your character is your character for a reason. Now, playing a character in D&D is a lot of fun. And it's a lot more fun to mess with your DM because we are here to play a game, not play a movie, right? We're not actors in a movie. We're playing a game. We're playing a board game. So here's a few tips, a few tricks, if you will. Step one, make a character that is good on paper. Now, it doesn't matter what your charisma score is. You can have your charisma of just a base +0, right? Just put all your strength into strength or constitution or wisdom, you know? Or just put it into something stupid like an intelligence. But the thing about charisma is it only matters about what your charisma is in real life. If your charisma is a 10 in real life, you're not going to have a very good time. But if you got a 20 in charisma in real life, you have a 20 in charisma in game because charisma doesn't matter. The charisma score is the stupidest score because it doesn't matter. Okay? So make it good on paper. Don't use charisma because charisma's stupid. Charisma, it comes from you and it comes from your eloquent argument to the DM, not as a character. They may have you roll charisma, but that's just the DM saying, okay, I'll give it to you if you don't roll a 1. And usually you don't roll a 1 other than, what, a 20th of the time? So it's fine. Alright, part 2. Step 2. Okay? So we all know that the biggest part of D&D, Can you guess? Can you guess? Yeah, you're right. It's roleplay. The tabletop role-playing game, it's about roleplay. Now, a lot of people may disagree with me on this part. They'll say, Jack, the best and most important part of D&D is the storyline. And I would say, well, person, it doesn't. The storyline matters. Obviously, it matters because you want to care about your character, right? But what matters and what drives the storyline is the roleplay in it. And a lot of people will use combat as a driver for your storyline. I'm going to fight this big bad guy, and when I kill him, I'm going to get gold, and then I'm going to go buy more stuff so I can fight the other big bad guy. Like, okay, I guess you're just playing an RPG at that point. Like, and it's not an RPG MMO, an MMO on your video gaming and an MMO. An RPG is a role-playing game. You're trying to get immersed into the character, and you're trying to become the character. You're trying to play something outside of your bounds and outside of who you are in real life. So, you may be a goody two-shoes, but I mean, you're also. But in the video game, in the tabletop game, you're a bad guy. Ooh, you're a bad guy in the video game. So it's all about the role play. It's all about what makes you happy in your game. And to me, role play is the most important part of the game because it'll set you apart from the rest of your team. The rest of your group is going to be like, oh, I want to kill this guy. I want fat loots. I want to go raid a dungeon. Why do you want to raid a dungeon? Why can't you just talk to the guy? Why can't you just talk to a person for like an hour about, I don't know, the lore of the world? If you enjoy the lore, the best way to get the lore of the world is to ask somebody in the world instead of finding it out for yourself. Or asking the DM, hey DM, would it make sense if I was from the caves of Moria or something like that? And the DM's like, let me check my notes. But I mean, like, if you ask somebody in game, then, you're like, hey, is it okay if I go to the caves of Moria? And the person in game is like, what the fuck are you even talking about? And then you can start a little funny dialogue where you're like, you don't know about the caves of Moria? No, I don't know about the caves of Moria. Why don't you know about the caves of Moria? Because I'm not a adventurer like you. And then you're like, well, I'll pay you money if you come adventure with me. And then you got another member of the party and make the DM do a lot more work, which is the point of this video, is making your DM suffer. All right, now let's move on to part 3. Step 3 would be, and it would consist of basically playing the game normally, but when you're playing the game normally, you got a little secret vendetta, and that's to get your party and your DM to go and follow your railroad, what matters to your character, because your character should lead the dialogue and lead the party to a different place than the DM had originally expected to. I remember in one game, I'm not going to say, I wanted to go back to my hometown so I could take it back over, and it was impossible to get what my character wanted to do because I had to follow the MacGuffin of the DM. So if you just got your characters and your party and the rest of your team to be like, you know what? Maybe let's just go to the town instead of doing this MacGuffin. That would be fun. It would be really fun to go off story beat because a lot of things are linear. A whole lot of games are linear. There's only a handful of video games that are open world but have storyline. Like I think Skyrim is a good example of that. But you're here in D&D to get a different taste of a game. Like you're not here to play a linear storyline that's been set out for you, and only a few choices that you choose would matter. So what I'm trying to say is get your party to change the subject of the campaign. Change it from the chicken campaign to the taking over a city campaign, if you know what I mean. And yeah, I mean, really, what matters to you is if you have fun in the game, and that's all that matters. So if you liked this video and you want to see more of this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Actually, I don't even care about the bell notification. Don't hit the bell notification. Hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment saying how much you hate D&D, and leave a like or leave a dislike. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Just do something. All right, get out of my face. Bye.